I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you for being here tonight, everybody. We will be getting started in just a moment.
I'm lost and into the dark. Some things are better left unknown. And I'll never find you here, 'cause no one's ever she's a sneaky hider. Hide the lies and the alibis. Oh, what a sinner. Is it in her? What's the truth in this riddle? Is love really just this simple? I can't seem to find my way in this world that never stays. What a widow, a peaceful spider. When the glass is clean, she's a sneaky hider. Hide the lies and the alibis. What a sinner. Is it in her? Is this real? Just illusion? I'm lost in the wonderland of confusion. I'm lost in the wonderland of confusion. Is this real or just illusion? Manifestation or a dark delusion? Is this real or just illusion? I'm lost in a wonderland of confusion.
Ripon Rabbit Hole is a community-driven radio. At times the community comments may reveal prejudices and other beliefs that we or our sponsors do not condone. Views or opinions expressed by the community, callers, or guests, are those of the individual speaking and do not represent the views or opinions of this site. Ripon Common Sense content is intended for mature audiences only. Enjoy.
Coming to you from a secret cave, hidden deep within the wilderness. This is the Dark Wolf's Den Show. Now, here is your host, Jerry Hicks.
That's right, I am Jerry Hicks, also known as the Dark Wolf. And hello, my freedom-loving friends. We are broadcasting live from a secret cave hidden deep within the wilderness of Tennessee. That's right. We're ripping through the electromagnetic soup. We're tearing through the atmosphere. And we're tunneling away into your radio like a quantum particle. This is the Dark Wolf's Den Radio Show Freedom Flame Series for Wednesday, March 16th, 2022. So whether you're on the edge of a reality, the edge of the galaxy, or the edge of your seat, we're glad you chose us to be right there with you. Folks, tonight we are going to recap the event that literally just occurred moments ago called United We Stand. This is put on by the Freedom Fighters of Central Wisconsin. We are so excited to do this show with you tonight, folks, and we're going to get through this fun rabbit hole together. But first, let's go ahead and see who all we have here in our YouTube chat rooms, both on the Dark Wolf's Den Radio Show as well as the Ripon Rabbit Hole YouTube channel. How we doing over here tonight, folks? Quite a few guys here tonight. I'm really glad to see it. I was trying to do something a little different, but it's not letting me do it. I was going to bring in the backstage into the browser here, or into the window, but it doesn't look like it's going to let me, so we're going to do something a little different tonight, folks. We will be reviewing this freedom rally that did occur. But first, let's once again go ahead and see who all we have here. Maggie's Aces checking in with us over in the Ripon Rabbit Hole, as well as Sandy B. Who else we got here? Errol Taylor. Sorry, guys, I'm doing like 15 things at once tonight. It's been a while. I do apologize for last week. We did had a little internet issue, but we are back live and strong. Errol says, hey, AJ and Jerry. Hey, Errol, glad to see you. Prairie Fire says, evening all, evening Prairie, as well as National Memorial Gardens from across the pond. Glad to see you, my friend. Salutes to you. Who else we got here? Raider Champion dropping the Song of Wonderland by Chick and Michael Musco, our opening song there. David Perry, glad to see you here tonight, as well as Mandani Mall. And it looks like that is it. And Flippin' Rob says, ooh-ah, ooh-rah. Flippin' Rob, glad to see you hanging out with Flippin' Rob and AJ earlier in the backstage lounge. That was lots of fun. If you guys would like to join us in the backstage lounge, the show is playing back there also. That is on the riponrabbithole.com. That is the riponrabbithole.com. RIPONRABBITHOLE.com. That's right. David Perry says Tennessee. All right, I'm over here in Tennessee myself, my friend. But that doesn't stop us from loving our great state of Wisconsin. AJ, hey AJ, over in the Dark Wolf's Den Show. Glad to see you, AJ, as well as My Life DIY. Always a pleasure to have you here. JoJo's waving in again, even though she was the first one waving in. How you guys been this week? I am really excited to see all you guys. Like I said, we had some internet issues on the last go around and wasn't really able to get on here last week, but it gave us the time to prep for this amazing show. Also, Michael Fontaine says, hello everyone. Hello, Michael. I am once again just ecstatic to see all you guys. I really do miss when we're not able to hang out together. Like, it just really messes my week up from there out. And whether you're listening on YouTube or around the world on Ripon Common Sense Radio Network, or even on the replay on BitChute or Rumble, we're glad to have every last one of you guys along for the ride. That's right. And before we do dive into the fun that was this evening's event, we have two more fun little segments to do, the first of which we call Today in History. On On this day in 1974, the very first performance at the new Grand Ole Opry House occurs at Opryland in Nashville, Tennessee. As the lineup goes, apparently President Richard Nixon even was involved, both singing and playing the piano. That occurred on this day in 1974, and that is today's segment of Today in History.
Say what?
Our quote of the day today, folks, comes from what's called the Liberty Song by John Dickinson in 1768, but it is a quote we are all very familiar with, and it says, and I quote, "United we stand, divided we fall," end quote. Once again, that was originally penned in 1768 by songwriter John Dickinson, and that is today's segment of
Say what?
Wise Words to Live By Indeed. Would you not agree, my freedom-loving friends? Like Burgos, glad to see you, my friend. Always a pleasure. It's been a while since you've been around. I see some candles coming up in chat. That does remind me, folks, make sure you do have a candle ready, because this weekend that we're kicking off here, as you guys know, is a very special weekend. It is the Freedom Flame weekend. That is, of course, coming up on Sunday, March 20th. Do make sure that you have a candle available, as we will each be lighting our own Freedom Flame. And of course, that goes right along with the Freedom Flame series we're doing here, does it not, guys? And speaking of Freedom Flame, the flame of freedom is burning brightly tonight in Plover, Wisconsin, as they are holding, and I'm not sure it was still going on at the point that we had to go live, so I'm not able to monitor it. They may still be monitoring it once again in the backstage, but that rally there, they are rallying together for freedom and coming together under the banner of togetherness, of course. And we have some snippets from this amazing rally from today.
United we stand. Freedom fighters and fellow patriots, welcome to the We Stand rally. It's an honor to be standing next to all of you during this time. We are standing tall this evening to let these politicians know that our voice and our vote will not be silenced.
And it's important, of course, that every one of us, regardless of where we are from, stand up and get involved in our local communities.
And we will not be cheated. One of the building blocks of this great country is our democracy. Therefore, in our Declaration of Independence, Thomas Jefferson wrote, "Governments are instituted amongst men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed."
And that could not be more stressed. As a matter of fact, I'm going to back that up a couple seconds, because it's just that important.
Governments are instituted amongst men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed.
Deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. This is, of course, Brock. As you guys remember, if you weren't here on Sunday, Brock and James are the ones that founded the Freedom Fighters of Wisconsin. This is him. He was, once again, joining AJ last Sunday on the broadcast, and he is speaking at this amazing United We Stand rally.
We the people. Make no mistake about it, ladies and gentlemen. We are the crusaders of our time. It is our duty to fight one way or the other to maintain our God-given liberties and rights. This rally is a major step in that.
And when we say fight, let's be very clear what we are meaning by this word. To get involved in your local communities, to stand up and vote for those that we know are going to uphold our values, right?
For over the past 2 years in this great state of Wisconsin, we have witnessed many brave, courageous, and bold Wisconsinites fighting for freedom. We all have worked to organize groups in our local areas to create change.
And if you don't have a group in your local area that is organized to try to create the change you're looking for in your community, may I suggest you try to start one, or find somebody who has the extra time on their hands that is willing to help start something like this and become a grassroots organization.
This is the moment in history where we the people stand united again.
And that's exactly what needs to happen. We need to be united in cause and united as one nation and one peoples.
We the people of the United States, to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and posterity, to ordain and establish this Constitution of the United States of America.
And for those that don't know, that is, of course, the preamble to the Constitution of the United States of America.
And establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and posterity.
Secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. That is the duty of every single American person. It isn't just my job. It isn't just Brock's job. It isn't just AJ the Ripon Rabbit's job, or Mandani Mall, or Maggie Zace, or so many of you wonderful folks out here in the chat. It is the duty of all of us to get involved and secure the posterity of freedom and liberty going forward in this country.
We were given this republic by our founding fathers, and it falls to us to keep it. The responsibility is ours, in this time, to protect this gift we were given from those who seek to divide us and tear down our nation. God put us here in this time for this struggle.
And I've heard many people over the last couple years, and we even say this a lot in our IMEC talks, even though that's not even political, under the Mandela effect, right? We're all here at this time for a reason. I truly believe that God put each of our souls here, as rebellious as some of us are, more so than others, just the same, we are here to use that rebellion for good, to use the ways of justice and the laws to do what needs to be done to bring back the freedom and the posterity of this country for our future.
Whether it's to prove ourselves worthy because he knows we are up to the task, maybe both. Freedom and liberty come at a cost. It is a cost paid by patriots. The cost is paid willingly, so all many share it in it.
I even dare say not even just patriots, but freedomists, because in my opinion, patriot really doesn't match the people around the world who are struggling and fighting their own fight for freedom. So it's up to all the freedomists to stand up and combine together.
Reward. A nation like any other where man can live free from oppression of government and tyrants.
And that freedom, as he just mentioned, is not free. There's been many people who have laid down their lives for this country. The blood spilled on foreign shores and even on our own has always been for the fight of freedom. Earth Daughter, glad to see you here. Says, I was on the phone catching up listening 2x speed. Now that ought to sound really interesting at 2x speed. Joe says the live has ended over at the Freedom Rally, United We Stand rally, so that's awesome to know. Appreciate you letting us know that, Joe. I'm so glad once again to see so many of you folks over here. The Cognitive Dissident, glad to see you.
Brave.
And I cut that accidentally. I do believe he said it will only remain the land of the free as long as we are the home of the brave.
Today we're here to speak about something of great importance, the heart and soul of our country, election integrity. The right to vote in a free and fair election is the most basic civil right. on which many of other rights of the American people depend. We must ensure the fairness, accuracy, and security that benefits our democracy
and our republic. So this is most important. When it comes to election time, every one of us need to get out and cast our vote. We need to work the polls. We need to be there to watch what everyone else is doing. As long as everyone is watching each other, it is going to guarantee integrity. It's easy to cheat when nobody's looking. It's a lot harder to cheat on a test when the teacher is staring at you, right? There has to be eyes on the situation of these polls in order for us to guarantee there has been integrity in what has been going on, right? Because there's a lot of questions about 2020. In my opinion, we can't bring those questions up because, you know, YouTube is sanitized for your protection.
We are here today because we want the truth. We're tired of watching the tyrannical agenda and government overreach stripping away the rights of we the people. We expect our voices to be heard by the elected officials and representatives who took an oath to hold the Constitution and to represent the people. Our laws are not being followed, and people need to be held accountable.
Accountability is one of the most important things in politics, folks. We have to hold each one of our representatives accountable to represent us and not themselves and their own interests. And if this means getting involved by letter writing, by sending emails, it's easy today to send an email. Back when I was younger, we had to literally write the letter out by hand and send it to your senator or send it to your congressman or whoever the case may be, your council member, your school board member. Now, all you got to do is sit down and write an email. Let them know you don't agree with this thing going on or that thing going. Now, do it politely, of course. Let's always remember to hold politeness. But let them know you don't want them to vote for said bill on this or that. Get involved. Know how to get involved with these folks. Let these folks know that you're watching them. Once again, it's a lot harder to do things in the shadows if eyes are on you, right?
If refuse to acknowledge the evidence that was presented to them, then they need to be removed and replaced by someone who will listen to we the people. This process started with all the courageous people that have been working tirelessly uncovering the truth of what happened on November 3rd, 2020, and standing up for election integrity.
Which is so incredibly important. It doesn't matter if it's November 3rd of that year or 2024 or November 8th of 2022 or whatever year it may be. We must all stand up for integrity. Well, thank you. Of course, that was
the culmination of decades has brought us here today, and the last 6 years has enlightened us how government is not for the people. For years, we have passively sat comfortably on our couches and let invaders come into local and state government.
And he's right. It is kind of our fault, folks. We kind of dropped the ball on this. As Americans across the board, we got very complacent. We trusted our government. We trusted that the right things were going on. And it's been a real eye-opener to a lot of people around the country that what they thought was happening, the magical illusion that was being portrayed before them, has been broken. And now they're able to see the trick that was pulled and the tricks being pulled. And it's only because every one of us got complacent and just assumed that the right things were going on. Now, let us hope that we learn from this going forward, and it's a mistake, my tongue's getting tied, folks, that we do not make again.
We have been divided, lied to, and ignored. More than ever, we have realized those we were taught to trust are not trustworthy. We have been divided to fight each other rather than our true enemy. People have been fed lies and have been manipulated with the cancel culture used to control speech, control thought, and control people. We are left with a divided society while the enemy elevate themselves into a position of power. That's not going to happen.
And it's so important, folks, that we don't look at each other as Republican, Democrat, black, white, orange, yellow, red, whatever way we want to box ourselves. We need to unbox ourselves. The boxes were laid on us by our politicians. We didn't lay those boxes on ourselves. We didn't label ourselves. Maybe some of us did. But the only label we all need to carry together, the only banner that we need to all come together under is American, is those who love freedom. And I know we've got National Memorial Gardens in here if he's still hanging around. Nathan, I appreciate you, my bud. I know you're across the pond. I do apologize. This is a little more American oriented, but just the same, it's up to every last one of us.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you. My name's Jonathan Voss. These are a few of our administrators. 2S is not one. 2S is not one. I don't claim that man as my kin.
Of course, the one you're thinking of that's been in the news is Robin Voss. This is Jonathan Voss.
There's a Voss with 2 S's. I'm from Walworth County. I just wanted to highlight a little bit of my experience. I grew up on Rush. I grew up on Mark Belling. I grew up listening to the conservative media. I was that child. I always voted Republican, but I was never a part of the party until 2020. After that.
And let's be clear, there has been goofy things happening on both sides of the aisle. There's not one party that is immune from things that have happened or gone wrong, right? It doesn't matter if you're Republican or Democrat.
That happened, I joined in Walworth County. I brought a Betsy Ross flag to our county fairgrounds. And I was told by my chairman that I couldn't wave the flag.
And why is that?
I was told that people would connotate that with January 6th and that would look bad.
Well, it's of course not surprising that they use anything possible to try to stop us from celebrating being Americans. We've seen this happen quite a bit over the last few years.
When we pushed for the truth in our county meetings, Robert's Rules of Orders were used against the people to squash debate, shut down dissent, and constructive arguments from taking place, critical thinking, which fosters creativity in an open environment, which is pivotal and essential for a free and fair society, right? I just wanted to read something from the letters, and pardon me, I get emotional. I love my state.
And once again, though this is from and about Wisconsin, this stands across the board. It doesn't matter what state you're in. This applies to us all, right? We're all in the same country, in the same battle together for freedom and for what's right.
So, John Adams, Philadelphia, 20 September 1774.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, these are words from the original founding father himself, John Adams. Little surprise, we'll go ahead and let you guys know this is one of two founding fathers we're going to hear from this weekend. Stay tuned at the end of the show. I'll give you more information on who the second one's going to be coming up this weekend. But here are words directly from one of the founding fathers of this country in letters he wrote back to his wife, Mr. John Adams, the same man as we learned, a month or two ago? I can't remember how long ago I did that episode. He was the one that fought for hours over one word, the freedom of speech shall not be infringed. He fought for hours over the word the, because he felt it was that important. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, letters from John Adams.
He's writing this to his wife. I'm anxious to know how you can live without government. But the experiment must be tried. The evils will not be found so dreadful as you apprehend them. Frugality, my dear, frugality. economy, parsimony must be our refuge. I hope the ladies are every day diminishing their ornaments, and the gentlemen too. Let us eat potatoes. Let us drink water. Let us wear canvas. Dressed in sheepskins rather than submit to the unrighteous, enormous domination that is prepared for us. Kind of goes to show you their mindset back then. Humble yourself. Sacrifice what you can for the cause. In June, he wrote to his wife and he said, "Courage, my dear. We shall be supported in life or be comforted in death. And I'm ready."
Again, to be clear, those were the words of John Adams, just so we're clear on that.
Philadelphia, 7 July 1775. This is the Second Continental Congress. These men woke up before dawn.
Now, you do remember, we do know that when this country was founded, it was founded on very, very Christian principles and bases.
Got on their horses. They would go to church. They would be preached to. They would be ministered to. And then immediately they would ride for open debate and going into the caucuses and the delegations. And they would be in debate all day long for weeks and months on end to figure this out. So he writes to his wife and he says, "A constitution of government once changed from freedom can never be restored. Liberty once lost is lost forever."
Liberty once lost is lost forever. I'm going to replay that little piece. We're going a little over our break time. I do apologize. We're going to have a bit of a late break, but I want to replay this little piece right here again.
Can never be restored. His wife, and he says, "A constitution of government once changed from freedom can never be restored. Liberty once lost is lost forever. When the people once surrender their share in legislature and their right of defending the limitations upon the government and of resisting every encroachment upon them, they can never again regain it." Well, I haven't let go yet.
And I don't know about you guys, but I haven't exactly let go either, folks. And that's why we have to come together once again under the banner of American, under the banner of being free, of following our Constitution, following our rule of law, and take back our country the legal way. And of course, that music means we have to go ahead and take a network break right here. So my name's Jerry Hicks, also known as the Dark Wolf, and you're listening to the Dark Wolf's Den radio show exclusively on Ripon Common Sense Radio Network, the Ripon Rabbit Hole. We'll be right back with the second half of this very special Freedom Flame episode after these messages. Stick around. Don't touch that dial. That's right.
We gotta stoke the fires and run off the men in black. Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back.
Oh yeah, the Freedom Flame weekend has officially begun. Hi everyone, it's AJ, the Ripon Rabbit. Are you enjoying tonight's Dark Wolf's Den radio show? A recap of United We Stand, the rally in Plover, Wisconsin, led by our friends, the Freedom Fighters of Central Wisconsin. I know I am. If you are and you haven't done so already, please make sure to hop on over to our website, riponrabbithole.com. There you can sign up for your exclusive Backstage VIP pass. It's going to give you unfiltered access down the rabbit hole to where the conversation continues after the show. Also, we're playing with some new features in the Backstage VIP chat lounge. Like before tonight's broadcast, there was a United We Stand VIP backstage event where we were re-simulcasting the Freedom Fighters of Central Wisconsin backstage for anybody who wanted to sit in and rally together virtually. And in part of our Freedom Flame Weekend celebration, we're going to do these exclusive backstage VIP events throughout the rest of the weekend. So you want to make sure to visit riponrabbithole.com/live and stay up to date with our ongoing schedule. Like tomorrow's backstage VIP event is Ripon history and the creation of the Republican Party. Now it starts backstage at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is 7 p.m. Central Standard Time and 8 p.m. Eastern. Now, it is an RSVP event, which means that during this event, the Backstage VIP chat lounge is going to be locked for people that have reserved their seat or have a golden key. This event does not take place on Ripon Common Sense Radio, and we do not air it on YouTube. It is a private event that you can be a part of. It's very simple. Visit the schedule. Listen live on air at riponrabbithole.com. Click on Ripon History and the Creation of the Republican Party and put in your name and email address and reserve your seat. We can hold up to 100 people backstage in our VIP chat lounge. And again, we're going to be doing events like this daily leading up to the Freedom Flame celebration happening Sunday night, March 20th. Of course, after that event, Jerry Hicks and the Dark Wolf's Den radio show will take to the airwaves in his regular scheduled time at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10/9 Central. Jerry will recap and follow up the backstage event with an entire program dedicated to the birth of the Republican Party in Ripon, Wisconsin. Again, tomorrow night, Thursday, March 17th, starting at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10/9 Central, as the Freedom Flame Weekend is now officially underway. We'll return back to tonight's United We Stand event recap. You're listening to the Ripon Common Sense Radio Network, home of the Freedom Flame, riponrabbithole.com. Oh, yeah.
The unity of all who dwell in freedom is their only sure defense.
In 1854, 50 men, 3 women, and a child walked into this one-room schoolhouse in Ripon, Wisconsin, divided. When they emerged, they were united. United in freedom. This year on March 20th, Ripon Rabbit Hole and thefreedomflame.com will rekindle the spirit that keeps the flame alive in our annual celebration. We invite everyone, regardless of your political affiliation or location in the world, to join us in rekindling the spirit of that flame.
May the light of freedom, coming to all darkened lands, flame bright, until at last the darkness is no more.
Register now for event details at thefreedomflame.com.
If you were meant to be controlled, you would have come with a remote, but you didn't. And that's why you listen to the Dark Wolf's Den Show. Now, here is your host, Jerry Hicks.
That's right, I am Jerry Hicks, also known as the Dark Wolf, and welcome back to the second half of the Dark Wolf's Den radio show Freedom Flame series, United We Stand, the event recap. So whether you're on the edge of a reality, the edge of the galaxy, or the edge of your seat, we're glad you chose us to be right there with you. That's right, folks. So many of you right here with us tonight. Once again, recapping the chat here. We've got JoJo's. We've got Sandy B. Raider Champion Maggie's Aces. So glad to see all of you guys. Preliminal checking in with us. We had... what was that name up there a moment ago? I really Cognitive Dissonant checking in. Mandani Ma, Earl Taylor, Michael Fontaine, Raider Champion. If I forgot your name, I do sincerely apologize. JoJo's hanging out in both chats, as well as Earth Daughter over here, also in the Dark Wolf's Den show with JoJo's My Life DIY. Hey, Jay. hanging out with us. Have you guys enjoyed this so far? I know I'm having a blast. Like I said, the rally was absolutely amazing. I didn't get to watch all of it as we did have to go live. Do make sure, as AJ said, we will be doing more of these RSVP events. Do make sure that you hop on over to the riponrabbithole.com, RIPONRABBITHOLE, under the Listen Live, I do believe the tab that it's under, and you'll be able to sign up for any and all RSVP events that we have coming up. And of course, if you do miss the event, you can always catch our recap of the event like we're doing tonight. So much good information we went over in the first half, right? I really like those letters by John Adams. I don't know about you guys, but that was very touching for me. You know what I mean? To hear the actual words of our founding fathers echoing across time and still be so important today as it was then.
Please, and I'm going to repeat this again, but it's time, talent, or treasure, guys. We can talk about this. We can stand up here. Harry has done a lot of work. A lot of work. The members of Hot Government have done a lot of boots on the ground work. But it's going to take more effort if we're going to come across the finish line and actually win. We have been...
Time, talent, and treasure. And this is so very important. This is the voice of Adam Steen. He's trying to dislodge Robin Voss as Speaker of the House. I wish him the best of luck. But time, talent, or treasure, you don't have to have money to get involved. You don't necessarily have to have a talent to get involved. You don't necessarily have to have money to get involved, right? But if you've got time, if you've got an ability to do even the smallest thing, whether it's campaigning on social medias for your favorite America First candidate, whether it's going out in your community and just speaking with folks about your favorite candidate, whatever you can do, it's up to every last one of us to do something. Don't feel like you are unimportant or unable to get involved. That is the duty and the job of every last American citizen. You don't have to have money. You don't have to have some kind of specialty. All you have to do is believe in what you're doing. And let me tell you, I've seen belief go a long way. And I believe in America. I believe in our freedom, and I believe in our Constitution. And I believe everybody listening to my voice most likely does too. As well as our next person up, folks, a person that was at the rally was United We Stand rally was Mr. Timothy Rantham. Now, Mr. Timothy Rantham is not your average guy. He's one of these folks that you would be writing to let them know that you don't agree with the law or that you want a law to be passed. It doesn't always necessarily have to be you don't agree, right? Timothy Rantham is a senator in the Wisconsin State Assembly for the 59th District of Wisconsin. He is under the Republican banner, a very, very important speaker, and he had quite a good bit to say, actually. If I could get the right soundbite to come up.
That T theme going. Let's all give a round of applause for Mr. Tim Rantham and his team. Come on up, buddy.
Exactly. AJ says focus on your own backyard. Exactly. Focus on your local area. It takes every one of these local board members, local city councils, local and state representatives to make change. You individually can make as much change as any senator in Congress, and probably more, because we know how little they do. People are excited to see Timothy.
All blessings flow.
Praise God, from whom all blessings flow. I agree, Tim.
In the journey that I'm on, I'm blessed every day with the people I get to meet. I've got a couple of special people up here on the stage with me today. I wouldn't be where I'm at without this kind of support, not just here, but out there as well. Tristan Johannes and Aaron Yeager. Leaders surround themselves with good people, and that's reflected very well with this group of people here.
That is so very true. Having had a lot of leadership experience myself, good leaders surround themselves with good people.
Socrates was born in 470 BC. He lived for 71 years, and during that time he made a statement that rings true to me today, even as I heard behind us some sarcasm coming from the speaker's mouth about me today. Socrates says, when the debate is lost, slander becomes the tool of the loser.
When the debate is lost, slander becomes the tool of the loser. If they cannot argue a debate, and this stands for anybody, if the debate cannot be argued on the merits of the issue, they suddenly start attacking the one bringing the issue to light.
So the loser over there, Voss, was apparently cracking jokes about me today in front of the county chairs and vice chairs.
To give a little backstory, there was a meeting of the county chairs and vice chairs today over the integrity of things that have happened in the last couple of years, if you guys know what I mean.
All they can do is call me names like jokester or not credible or conspiracy theorist.
Now, I know a lot of us have been called conspiracy theorists, and I just want to point out, I don't know about you guys, but I'm literally running out of conspiracy theories. We recently seen one, I'm not going to speak about it on the sanitation of YouTube, but we've recently seen a supposed conspiracy theory go from theory to fact in less than 6 days. As DJT Jr. pointed out, that is a record, and I can tell you in all my life studying conspiracy theories, I've never seen such a turnaround as I have in these last 2 years. All the conspiracies that I've been talking about and studying all my life, all of a sudden became fact. It's been the strangest feeling ever, let me tell you. Good, but strange. Mr. Timothy?
I am focused on truth. It's a great song. Hey, wave that guy in here quick. Let's get him in, park right here.
And I would like to note, YouTube, I get 30 seconds of any material whatsoever for use on commentary and the such. It looks like they had quite a few people riding by. I love the sound of those bikes, right? But I just love hearing the fact that you've got the community here really gathering around this event.
Out after shoveling snow, it's good stuff.
Jojo says the conspiracy is just an idea before its time. I really like that.
There was a meeting today at the Capitol at 10 o'clock, and the speaker was there. I was asked to leave the room. He'll do anything to, I don't know, flex a muscle or be a bully. That's what insecure people do.
However, asking him to leave the room was probably one of the bigger mistakes that Mr. Speaker Voss made.
They want to try to make themselves be something they're not at someone else's expense. But that's okay, because I felt it was far more important for the people who came to give information, to get him educated, than it was for me to be there. So I graciously stepped out, and that was a good move, because I had 2 opportunities with the press and I let them have it. I got asked a question about what sort of data do you have that.
And I love that. He is not afraid to go at the press, just like my personal favorite president was. I'm sure you guys can take a guess who that might be.
Justifies the question, basically, I'll paraphrase. And I said to the gentleman, and I use that term loosely, did you look at the 72-slide report on my website? Did you look at Mike Gableman's 136-page report? And he says, yeah, I looked at that. I said, well, then what are you asking me the question for? It's all in there. He lied. He didn't say anything after that, but that's my point. The people who want to argue against the principle of reclaiming our ballots don't have any reason other than they're saying it's not constitutional, when in fact the data we have, the information they heard today in the meeting proves that we do and we will. This is going to happen. Sooner rather than later would be nice, but it's going to happen because it needs to happen. Accountability starts with the reclaiming of the ballots, but it doesn't end there. Investigations, audits, people got to be held accountable.
And it is up to each one of us to ensure they're held accountable by the law, to ensure that we do our due diligence in our own investigation and bring this data forward.
I will continue as a servant of the people, as a representative until January 2nd or 3rd. I don't know if I know the date, don't care, but anyway, and hopefully I continue on as your governor. If not, I get to stay home and play with my cat. So, as Adam Steen had said, it's on you. If you're looking for the real deal, if you're looking for someone who works up by and for the people, who will not waver, who will not give up, who does not tolerate mediocrity, status quo, or learned behavior, you only have one choice for the governor race this year, and you're looking at him. So, in closing, because it's cold and it's late, and I'm most grateful that you all came tonight. Thank you so much.
And I'm most grateful to have every last one of you guys here also.
Everybody who spoke and those who will follow. This is not a one-person job. I need your help. I need your vote. I ask for your vote, and I can guarantee you, you will find that your judgment was sound. I will meet expectation and exceed expectation, and I will be the best governor this state ever had.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, Mr. Timothy Rantham. If you're in Wisconsin, if you want what seems to me like to be a good governor, there you go. Make sure you vote him in next go round.
Meeting in the Capitol building.
And I've got one more last little clip here tonight, folks, before we cut it down.
But let me tell you something. Timothy Rantham was completely de-vilified today, and it was proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that he's been right from the beginning. And we need to get behind people like that and elect them to office. We have an opportunity in Wisconsin, as he said, to be the greatest governor this state has ever had. So let's get out and be busy and let's get these men elected to office, and let's improve this state. And we do have hope if we'll just get involved. So I challenge you tonight.
And I second this challenge forth.
Don't just come to this meeting and say it was a great meeting, we had great speakers, but let's go home and work hard, and let's get these guys elected. Thank you.
And working hard for your community and doing what is right, as AJ would say, just makes common sense. Well, I mean, wouldn't all of you agree with that? But in the end, ladies and gentlemen, all you can do is do your own research, do your own due diligence, and do what we can to help each other. If you take nothing away from this, folks, please take this. We need to stand united as Americans, not as Republicans, not as Democrats, not as a skin color, but as true American citizens. But in the end, all you can do is look at the evidence, apply a little common sense, and you be the judge. We got to close it out. That's right, that's it for this episode of the Dark Wolf's Den Radio Show Freedom Flame Series for Wednesday, March the 16th, 2022. So whether you're on the edge of a reality, the edge of the galaxy, or the edge of your seat, we're glad you chose us to be right there with you. Ladies and gentlemen, now that we have kicked off this incredible weekend the right way, don't you worry, the weekend fun has only just begun. We will be back tomorrow, Thursday, March the 17th, 2022, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10/9 Central, with yet another episode of the Freedom Flame series as we discuss the birth of the Republican Party in Ripon, Wisconsin. That's right, folks, an incredible story that you do not want to miss. Then on Friday, March the 18th, 2022, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10/9 Central, our buddy AJ the Ripon Rabbit comes back to the airwaves with an all-new episode of the Ripon Rabbit Hole live show. That's right. On Friday, he's going to be joined by special guest, Mr. Alexander Hamilton. Yes, that Alexander Hamilton that helped write the Constitution, folks. I believe AJ borrowed a time machine and went back and borrowed Mr. Hamilton for the evening, and I cannot wait to hear what he's got to say. And that is going to be on Friday, March the 18th, 2022, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10/9 Central on the Ripon Rabbit Hole live show with our buddy AJ the Ripon Rabbit. Then on Saturday, March 19th, 2022, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10/9 Central, our AJ comes back with yet another episode of the Ripon Rabbit Hole live show as he takes to the airwaves to discuss the history of President Eisenhower. It's actually a really amazing story that you guys do not want to miss. If you don't know much about President Eisenhower, you're definitely going to enjoy this one. And that is going to be on Saturday, March 19th, 2022, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10/9 Central. Then, of course, on March 20th, our amazing, incredible, once-a-year Freedom Flame episode does occur. This will be our 5th annual Freedom Flame celebration and the 68th annual celebration of the Freedom Flame itself. 168 years since the incident at the Little White Schoolhouse where Whigs, Democrats, Free Soilers, Marxists, and more went in divided and came out as Republicans. That's right. All that and more on Sunday, March 20th, 2022. Do make sure that you have a candle available to light your very own Freedom Flame in celebration of freedom and freedomists fighting for it around the world. Once again, that is Sunday, March 20th, 2022. This is actually going to be at 4 p.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, so we will be starting a lot earlier with this particular episode. Again, one of my favorite nights of the whole year, and I cannot wait to see every last one of you guys here with us. For full details on everything happening here at the Ripon Common Sense Radio Network, do make sure you log on to the RiponRabbitHole.com. That is the RiponRabbitHole.com. That is RiponRabbitHole.com. Over there, you're going to stay up to date with all of the events that we have coming up, as well as the live shows that we do every single week, 5 nights a week, Wednesday to Sunday. And we love having you guys over there. While you're on the RiponRabbitHole.com, do make sure you check out our groups section. We have a variety of different groups, and if you don't like what you see, you can make your own. That's right. Also, make sure you join us in the 24/7 Backstage Lounge, my personal favorite place to hang out, and where I hang out almost every night. That's right, folks. There's so much to do over there and so little time to get there. Once again, that is the RiponRabbitHole.com. RiponRabbitHole.com. All right, folks, with that said, we have to get out of here. So on behalf of AJ the Ripon Rabbit, Chick Mandela Effect, Michael Musco, Walt House, everyone involved at Ripon Common Sense Radio Network, as well as Tom Bayless and this amazing music from Red Shed Studios. If you're looking for a custom soundtrack for your next project, make sure you check out Red Shed Studios. Links in the description. On behalf of all these folks, as well as our incredible mod team over on YouTube, my name's Jerry Hicks, also known as the Dark Wolf, and you've been listening to the Dark Wolf's Den radio show Freedom Flame series. United we stand. Remember, until next we meet again, folks, stay awake, but dare to dream. Good night, everybody. How? Yeah, that's right.
one's ever, no one's ever. She's a sneaky hider, hide the lies and the alibis. Oh, what a sinner, is it in her? What's the truth in this riddle? Is love really just this simple? I can't seem to find my way in this world that never stays. What a widow, a peaceful spider. When the glass is clean, she's a sneaky hider. Hide the lies and the alibis. What a sinner, is it in her? Is this real? Just illusion? I'm lost in the wonderland of confusion. I'm lost in the wonderland of confusion. Is this real or just illusion? Manifestation or a dark delusion? Is this real or just illusion? I'm lost in a wonderland of confusion.
I don't know about you guys, but I think we kicked off the Freedom Flame weekend right. I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow night. Bye now.